primary reason is to get the via at the pad connection in the component. So when you're talking about high-speed digital, you don't want to go to a LAN via a trace to a via, because that is all a delay. By putting the via in the LAN, there is no delay to get into the signal layer and moving it.
I see. It's a performance issue.
It's a performance issue. The other thing is it reduces the real estate that opens up for routing. So you get more routing channels as well.
Okay.
There is a slightly lower reliability in a via that is plated, epoxy filled and plated over, versus a via that's just plated on the final. And the reason for that is there's a different TG and thermal expansion of the epoxy from the copper barrel and from the laminate. So you have 3 different movements that are different than just a plated hole that's got air or maybe cap with solder mask. And if you do reliability tests like PCQR squared from Conductor Analysis Technology, which we've done multiple tests over a decade, you can see a slightly different cycle longevity between a through hole not epoxy filled and one epoxy filled. They will still meet all the requirements of IPC, but there is a slightly reduction in reliability when you plate, epoxy fill, and plate over. So just understand that. Another thing that you're trading off is copper foil, when laminated to make a printed circuit board, has the peel strength, sometimes about 6 to 9 pounds per square inch peel strength, which is really good for assembly. It survives very well. However, when you epoxy fill, you have the peel strength around where you drilled. You still have it. But where the epoxy is filled in the center and we plate over it, that peel strength of the epoxy is probably about 2 pounds per square inch. It's much lower. And it has.
Is that because the epoxy's slick? Or, yeah, it's
you
more
planerized
slick.
it, which is a fancy word for sanding, so now you've polished the surface. And then,
oh, that's interesting.
and then you deposit electroless copper that has no way to dig into it, so it has very low peel strength, and then you plate it on top of it. So
Interesting. I
if you
didn't
do
know that.
too much heat or too much rework over a VM pad with epoxy fill, you may see a bubble or lifting.
Yeah.
Don't see it too often, but occasionally you do.